Hi, I'm Carrie Patrick, your host for Eye on St. Lucie. Restoring the Village is a community involvement movement supported by the Lighthouse Foundation. It combines grassroots efforts for making a meaningful and visible difference in the community. It also educates our young student leaders in order to sustain the momentum for the future. This is the third annual event with activities scheduled for Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, June 7th, 8th, and 9th. Schools, local organizations, and individual residents can come out and participate. This is a unifying series of events that is focused on helping to make the city of Fort Pierce a safer and more enjoyable place to live. This unique fellowship seeks to eliminate social, ethnic, and financial barriers while permanently binding adults and children alike to the success of the historic Lincoln Park community. Organizers of the Restoring the Village movement look forward to establishing these dates as the third annual Restoring the Village Reunion Weekend. So join us now as we chat with Representative Larry Lee and Miss Olivia Watkins to learn more about what this weekend holds in store. Well, it's so nice to have you both here. I welcome Representative Larry Lee, the founder of the Lighthouse Foundation and the vice chairperson of the Restoring the Village, Miss Olivia Watkins. It is certainly my pleasure. We've got some big events taking place in our community thanks to the efforts that you all have helped to spur. Representative Lee, why don't you give us a little bit of background about personally what you do for our community and for our state, and a little bit about the Restoring the Village effort and the Lighthouse Foundation.
Well, thank you, Carrie, for having us here today, and I want to thank the school district also for this program. So informative. Along with my duties as a state representative, I also get a chance to do some of the things that I really enjoy, and that is being involved in the community. And in 2006, we started, and Olivia's is on the board of the Lighthouse Foundation. We started this foundation, and back in 2013, we had a rash of shootings and violence occurring, and people were concerned about the image that we had over in the Lincoln Park community, which was referred to as Northwest Fort Pierce. And I grew up in Fort Pierce in the Lincoln Park community, and back then it was not called Northwest Fort Pierce, it was called the Lincoln Park community. It was like a village. And I dreamed of that day that we could bring it back to that. So I got with a group of friends, little Olivia, and my good friend Alvin Miller from Nashville, Tennessee, Jerome Ryan, Chris Fogle, Pastor James Brown, Joey Miller, Pat Alley, Al Johnson, Sidney Lieberman. We created this Lighthouse, the Restoring the Village initiative under the Lighthouse Foundation. And it just blew up. You know, our first year we had over 1,000 people. We painted 26 houses. Last year we painted 14 houses, and this year we're moving beyond just the Lincoln Park community. We're going to be doing subdivisions: Lincoln Paradise Park, Sunland Gardens, Harmony Heights, Sheridan Plaza, Citrus Heights, Harmony Heights Addition. I think I got them all. And these areas of the community are now taking a sense of pride. And Sheridan Plaza, when you ride by there, as we speak right now, they are building a beautiful sign that says Sheridan Plaza, a Restoring the Village partner. The International Longshoremen's Association, when you drive off of US 1 onto Avenue D, entering into the Lincoln Park community, at the corner of 7th Street and Avenue D, you'll see the longshoremen. They just paved their parking lot and trim trees, and they're doing landscaping. It says International Longshoremen's Association, a Restoring the Village partner. So what we were trying to do with the Restoring the Village initiative is to get everyone to think as though they were living in a village. And in that village, everyone helped each other. And that's what I grew up, the street that I grew up on, Avenue O, that's what we had. We had like a little village there. And we want to bring that back. And we're so excited. And this year, we're going to be talking maybe later in the program about something different that we're doing this year with Inver State College.
That's fantastic. It sounds like you definitely planted that seed 3 years ago. This is the third year of the initiative,
Yes.
and we are definitely seeing the fruits of your labor. Ms. Watkins?
Yes, and I too grew up in the Lincoln Park area, and I lived on the main thoroughfare, really. I lived on Avenue D, and we had the same concept there. Everybody looked out for everybody. My parents were some of the pioneers that lived in that area, and to ride down now, it doesn't even look the same. But there are a few of the older pioneers that are still around, and I was talking to one of them the other day, and she says, you know, I heard about what you all are doing, trying to help fix things up right here, and I'm just so glad that somebody still cares. And that really makes you feel really good when they say that they are glad that we're doing this. And we've gotten it all started under the Lighthouse Foundation. And when Larry started the Lighthouse Foundation, the main concept of that was to assist youth and senior citizens. And that's what we started with our first year. We tried to help the senior citizens in the area. And not only did we paint their houses, but they did landscaping, they cut their trees down, they planted plants, they put down mulch, you know, all around their plants and all. And just kind of, one lady said, we just dressed up her yard. And the concept is that once we planted the roots and got it started, that they would continue and that it would become contagious, you know, that this person would see how the other person's yard looked, so they didn't want to be standing out as the only one that didn't have their yard or have their house, you know, looking well. So it's really become contagious, and as Larry said, we've spread out this year to a lot of the other subdivisions, because even though most of them, most of us, we started in that Lincoln Park area, but we've, you know, it's been extended now because a lot of people have moved into Sheridan Plaza. They've moved out into Sunland Gardens and I live in Paradise Park now. I left Avenue D, I'm in Paradise Park. So having moved out, so we didn't want to leave anybody out, you know, because we're steady moving and growing. And right now, we just thank the visionary for coming up with this idea that he had to continue to help our seniors and our youth. And our first year, we really focused on the seniors, and Larry's going to share, well, we're going to share with you the excitement about what's going to happen now with the youth, because we are sticking with that with the Lighthouse Foundation, that we really want to help seniors and our youth.
Well, you know, you've hit on something that's so very important, and you've really touched upon the gamut from seniors to youth, because yes, we've got pioneers that have really anchored Fort Pierce within St. Lucie County, and it's a great beacon, as you know, the Lighthouse Foundation speaks, you know, speaks to that. But without our youth to be there for our future, where are we? And we've got a great educational system that is moving forward. Great things are happening within St. Lucie Public Schools education system, and so you too are helping to spur that on with some of the leadership opportunities and helping to provide advancement in their education. Yes. So why don't you just go ahead and speak to that exciting opportunity that's also a part of this effort.
Well, thank you, Carrie. And also I want to give special recognition to Olivia and Mark Leith, who chairs our annual Restoring the Village community projects. But and the board and the volunteers are just amazing. And I was talking with one of our board members this morning. Mark Leith also serves on the board along with Jerome Ryant. And I was talking with Jerome this morning. I said, you know, we're so blessed. I said, we have a group of people that look at this project, this Restoring the Village initiative, as though it's their job. And they work tirelessly in the middle of the night. You know, we have conference calls that go to 11 o'clock at night sometime. And you would think that these people get paid for all of this, but they don't. And they get such a joy. But one of the things that I want to touch on that you were trying to guide me to, Carrie, was we started a new club at Alapatha Flats called Journey to Success Club, and this was a program that we started after visiting with Renee Adderley Clark at Alapatha. She asked me to come out to speak to a group of young men. There were about 14 of them, and they were having behavior and academic challenges. Don't want to call them problem challenges. And I issued them a challenge that if they would do what I felt and Ms. Clark felt was good to improve their grades and their behavior, that we would give them a free trip to Tallahassee, and they would meet the Senate President, the Governor, the Speaker of the House, and I would buy them outfits. And we had Michael Abraham. He does not like to get any credit, but he outfitted those boys with gold jackets, nice black slacks and navy blue slacks, shirt, tie, shoes, I mean, from top to bottom. And maybe we can get some pictures to you one day. But if you want to see the audience, that is a little bit about what we do, go to restoringthevillage.com, and you'll see 2 videos on there. But you also see pictures of some of these young men and young people that we work with. And also, I thought about, you know, we could paint all of the houses, we can dress up all the yards, but if we don't change the mindset of people, and particularly starting with our youth, we're going to continue to have and be plagued with many of the problems that exist today, not just in Fort Pierce, but across the country. And so I got with Dr. Massey at Indian River State College, because I think we have the best community college in the whole country.
State college.
And State College, that is, and thank you. And every year for the last 3 years, they've been nominated for the Aspen Award, which is the top colleges in the country. But Dr. Massey has done such a great job over there, and we got to talking, and I told him I wanted to start a scholarship. And most people may not believe it, but I was just a C student in high school. I was what you call a late bloomer, but not bragging, but I think I did better in life than some of my colleagues who were my peers who were straight A students. But I was what you call a late bloomer. And I thought about all of the kids that may be growing up in this community that may be late bloomers. They want a chance, they want to try and do well in life, but they don't know how. They need a little guidance. So I came up with this idea that if you are a C student and you live in one of these communities over here, and particularly if you're the first in your family to attend college, we want to break that cycle of generational poverty. And how do you do that? You do that through education. So we went out to the college and asked Dr. Massey to work with us on setting up an endowment program there, a scholarship endowment program for any child that lives in that area. And we won't be able to serve all of them, but eventually it will grow. And got with Ann Decker, and our goal was to start this program with a banquet, an awards banquet. And our goal was to raise $10,000. And to my surprise, one guy heard about what we were doing and wrote a check for $10,000. 5 days later, another guy walked in my office, heard and saw that video, and just amazed. He said, "How did you get that many? There got to be hundreds of people out there from all walks of life. How did you get that done?" And I just say, well, people feel a need to help. And that was on a Friday. Monday, he walked in my office with an envelope, $10,000 to that scholarship fund. And as of today, our goal, we were supposed to start the fund with $10,000. We're up to $37,500. We're going to exceed $40,000. And that's going to be a fund that will be there for as long as they're in River State College. And we're going to be building on that fund. I told Olivia and Mark Leith and Janice and some of the other members that my goal in 5 years is to have $1 million in that endowment scholarship over at River State College, and I believe we're going to make it.
I firmly believe that you will as well. I truly do. And you know, there's no better cause in the world than to invest in our students who will invest back in our community.
Yes.
And the group of young men that you were speaking of at Allapattah Flats, that actually happens to be where my office is located, because as you know, with the district office being flooded, one of the benefits is that we are now dispersed throughout the community, the schools, and while we await the new district office, and it's a blessing because we are embedded within the schools, and we get to interact with the students so much more. And I've been able to meet those young men several times, and in particular, one of your delegates has met with me on several occasions, and what a polite gentleman he has blossomed into. He has just grown by tremendous leaps and bounds, and it's because of that attention that he's received, the positive reinforcement that he's received, and the experiences. And I just know that he is going to be a pinnacle leader in this community, and he's paying it forward just
Yes.
like you've asked that people do with this Restoring the Village movement. And there are 3 upcoming events.
Yes.
And we've got it's next Thursday, Friday, and Saturday
Right.
that people have the opportunity to participate in. But well beyond that, because Restoring the Village is not just a 3-day
Right.
event.
It's annual.
This is
all
this
over, 24/7.
Yes.
365.
There you go.
And so, let me say a little bit about those 3 events. On Thursday, next Thursday, June 7th,
Mm-hmm.
at the Kike Center at Indian River State College, and unfortunately, but fortunately, that event is sold out. We have 300 seats, but they all have been sold out, and we are going to be having our first, the inaugural Restoring the Village Awards program. And what we'll be doing there, Carrie, we'll be recognizing 10 individuals who have made a difference in helping to restore the village. And we're calling them the Village Keeper Awards. And these awards are shaped like little Oscar awards, but we're going to be giving those out as a part of that banquet program. And that's going to be at the Indian River State College Kike Center. It starts at 6 p.m.
Okay.
Then on Friday, we have our youth symposium at Lincoln Park Academy, and that's from 8:30 to 12:30. And it will it's free to any parent that want to bring their kid out. They live in the area or outside the area.
They don't have to register in advance. They can go right
they
there
can go
at 8:30 and register.
Register right there. And what we do is we bring people back who grew up in the village of Lincoln Park to tell their story. And we've had professional athletes, business executives, military personnel, physicians, business leaders, and so forth. They come back and they work with these kids, they mentor these kids. That's going to be on Friday, June 8th. Then on June 9th is our big community cleanup day, and we will be assembling on the corner of Avenue Q and 25th Street, right across from Garden City, in that big open vacant lot there. And we'll start that at 7 and we'll go to about 4. We're going to be painting houses, landscaping, doing all the things that we've done in the past and more. And as of right now, we have already pre-registered 333 is what I saw the count this morning. We see organizations like the Fire District and Fort Pierce Utilities Authority, the county, the school district. We see different groups that are registering little teams, and these teams will be, you can select when you go on the site to register, restoringthevillage.com, and then click on volunteer. You'll be able to sign up to be on the trash pickup team, the food service team, the cleanup team. We have various teams. Also, for the first 600 people, we're going to give a T-shirt to a Restoring the Village T-shirt. So I hope we have enough T-shirts to go around.
All right, so I'm just going to repeat that website for registration. It's www.restoringthevillage.com.
Yes.
You can go there to register. But again, you take anyone who's willing to come and participate. Yes. They can be there that morning at the corner of Avenue Q and 25th Street. But it's helpful if you know in advance who's going to be there, because that helps with your preparations.
Yes.
That's correct.
And last year you had people out there in droves, and so much was accomplished. On that website as well, there are pictures of the event itself, and just looked like it was a wonderful way to bring everyone together. There was a lot of work going on, but there was a lot of fun being had by everyone that was there.
And Carrie, that is really the centerfold when you look at the different races, the different ages, and then to see how our entire county has come together. I mean, we have the fire department, we have the sheriff department, the police department. They're out there, they're patrolling as well, definitely for make sure that everybody's safe and all. And we have, our first aid, we have people that are there that have always been like community minded, but with this drive that we have going on now, it has just spread like wildfire. And the Fort Pierce Utilities Authority, they're there, they're helping, they're meeting. And with our Monday night meetings that we have every week, to see all the different entities from around the county to come and be a part and showing so much interest. And then they have their employees that are volunteering their time. As Larry said earlier, no one gets paid. This is all volunteer. And to see people come and just give away their Saturdays. You know, some people cherish their weekends, but they give this Saturday away to come and pitch in and just be a part of this movement.
So what if someone has a conflict that day and they really want to be involved, but they can't be there physically, or they want to make a donation? Yes. What do they do, or what do you need?
Well, if they want to donate, and right now we're trying to really build that fund, just make the check payable to the Lighthouse Foundation, and if it's over $1,000, we're just having them make it directly payable to RSC Foundation, and on the bottom of the check, put Restoring the Village Fund. And any amount is fine, but they can make a donation to the scholarship fund, or they can just show their support by telling people about it if they have family members. And if you can't come out but for 1 hour, just come out for that hour. And if some people are immobile, which they are, we have people that just sit at the tables and give out water, give out food. So we'll find something for them to do. But Carrie, you know, Olivia touched on something. When you look at that video, and I encourage the audience, the listening audience, the viewing audience, to just go to that video, you'll see America at its best. That's what we want to start. And we actually have started something, because I was a guest speaker down in Hope Sound last week to an event. And one of the city council persons from Indiantown, they are now incorporated. They have their own government there. And their town is called the Village of Indiantown. And they told me, they said, you know, we want you to come down and help us start in Restoring the Village initiative in Indiantown. So next year, we'll be starting there. Alvin Miller, who's on our committee of the Restoring the Village and also helped me co-found the Restoring the Village initiative in Nashville, Tennessee, he's come down every year. He and his church are involved all the way from Tennessee. So we're going to be starting a Restoring the Village chapter in Nashville, because we feel that this is the way to help bring back some of these communities, these communities that are poverty-stricken and deprived of so much. And we got to give these kids who are coming up in these areas hope. And I think that's what the scholarship is going to be about. But also yesterday, I think next year, I'm crossing my fingers, I met with someone, a very wealthy person in Broward County that's coming up for the banquet. And he made a $5,000 donation yesterday to the scholarship fund. But we're looking at starting an economic training center here, because, you know, we need to provide jobs as well. So every year we're just moving. But the beautiful thing and the joy that I get out of all of this is just seeing how people come together. And we don't care what race you are, what party affiliation. We try and stay away from politics. And I have to remind some of the candidates sometimes, they want to come out there and use this. I said, look, don't come using this. I said, I am an elected official. And the whole time that I have been involved and when I created this, I've never worn my T-shirt when I campaigned. Olivia and many of the people, we've never used this. We try to stay away from politics, because politics is the fastest way to tear an organization up, because people are just going to be different politically and philosophically. So we try and just do good things that bring people together and stay away from those things that divide people.
Well, it sounds very positive. It sounds very tried and true. It's what we need. I mean, it's what our community needs. We have St. Lucie County. We have Fort Pierce. We have Port St. Lucie. We have a unified group of individuals who really want to see this place be the very best place to live, to learn, to grow, and to play. And to do that, we have to make all facets of this community be the very best that it can be. And sometimes restoration is what it takes. And it is a beautiful, beautiful city. It is a beautiful, beautiful place. And we just need to appreciate it and love it back to where it can be that beautiful beacon that it was, like you say, when the pioneers were here. I mean, that's what this community was founded on.
And you know, it is so wonderful too, because we're talking about Fort Pierce, but you'd be surprised at the number of people that come from Port St. Lucie,
North and South
all from the beach area, all our inner communities. They all come. They don't live in that area, you know, and many of them, they don't have relatives in that area. But the love that
Yes.
they have in their hearts, which is paying it forward mainly. I've been blessed, and I want to be a blessing to somebody else. And just to come and you look around and people telling you where do you live? Where do you live? And yet you came to Fort Pierce to help us be able to help some others. And that's another beautiful part.
We're all neighbors.
Well, yes, we're all in this together, and some may live on North Beach, South Beach, Port St. Lucie, West and St. Lucie County, but at the end of the day, we all live in St. Lucie County, we all live in America, and if we can all start thinking like that, this country will become a better country. And my dream is just to see us become more united. There's just so much division that I see sometimes, and it pains my heart. But what helps me feel so good about the future and give me hope is to see what we do every year with this Restoring the Village initiative. And sometimes I find myself, when I get down a little bit, I watch those videos, and it just lifts me up just to see the people. And those two checks that I spoke about, the two gentlemen that walked into my office and donated $10,000 to help start that endowment fund, they don't even live in St. Lucie County. Both of them live in Indian River County. The guy that gave the $5,000 check lives in Broward County.
Wow.
So people see us here, and they're coming, and we've had local business owners here. Adams Ranch, Mike Adams, and Bud Adams was just a big supporter of this initiative from day one, and I really miss him, the late Bud Adams. But Joey Miller, Mike Brown at Harbor Community Bank, just to mention some local business owners, Jackson Hewitt, Al Johnson. These are some local business owners. So we have people here that's doing stuff too to help us out.
All right. Well, for anyone who's interested in learning more, I know our St. Lucie Public Schools, we are pushing this on our social media sites that we have the link on there, so you just have to click onto it to jump right over into Restoring the Village. Yes. The photos are there, the videos are there. Our WLX TV station, we'll have this being broadcast not just up into the dates, but beyond that, because this is a very important piece of information that we want to get out into the community.
We want to thank you all too.
Yes.
We definitely want to thank St. Lucie County Schools. Superintendent Wayne Gent, he's on board. He plans to attend our banquet.
Yes.
And we invite everybody to come. Don't worry about food, drink. We're going to feed you. We're going to give you something to drink. Just show up.
It's a wonderful opportunity for the community to come together.
Yes.
And we so appreciate everything that you're doing for our children, for our community. And we look forward to perhaps a follow-up after this is all said and done.
Yes.
And we'll see what our next steps will be. And we do appreciate you being here today.
Well, thank you,
Any
Carrie.
closing remarks?
Well, thank you, Carrie. And I want to thank the school district. And I know he probably wouldn't want me to give him a shout-out, but Craig Jerome is just an awesome guy. And I appreciate Craig has been such a big supporter of this initiative from day one. And he's helped in so many ways. We have a jewel in him. But I just can't say enough about this community, and we have some great people in this community doing some great things.
Yes, indeed.
And I just thank you so much. And Carrie, you're a great interviewer.
Well,
when a person look at you, you make them smile.
Well, make me smile on Saturday when I'm doing the paintbrush like this in my arms.
Okay, all right.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you both. And have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day. And for those of you at home, we appreciate you tuning in to this edition of Eye on St. Lucie. And do not forget to follow us, like us, and watch us on all of our social media outlets.